Hello, welcome to Screen Talk with yours truly, Nomfanelo. So I just finished watching the 2026 Oscars live through Crave, which went smoothly from a technical standpoint. No issues there on their platform. But yeah, I would say it's quite enjoyable. Now, there were certainly some surprises in terms of wins, but for the most part, I would say pretty expected. Now, I did do video previously where I did my predictions for the Oscars. It's already out on the channel if you want to check that out. I would say I did fairly well for the most part. But yeah, there was a few wins that I was kind of surprised, but most part expected, and some of the wins I was kind of like, okay, whatever. So I'm on the Oscars website. I'll just go through the order here. So actor in leading role went to Michael B. Jordan. I guess if you look at recently with what happened at SAG, where he won there, it seemed pretty expected at that point he was going to win. Because it seemed like if this race it was uncertain on what was going to happen, but it ended up being Michael B. Jordan, so good on him. Now, I have seen some people online suggest that he won because of the situation that happened at the BAFTA Awards. Um, I'm not sure if I buy that myself. I just think because like Sinners was the more like visible film, and it was the most nominated film, obviously at the Oscars. But yeah, I would say yeah, good on him. He's not my preferred choice out of this list, but good for him for winning his first Oscar there. Next up, actor in supporting role went to Sean Penn. I guess this seemed to be expected because he won BAFTA and he won at SAG and now he won at the Oscars, and this is his third Oscar win, I believe. And and for all of them, he did not showed up. And I just saw here on Twitter that something interesting happened while Kieran Culkin was presenting the award. So I'm not going to play the audio, but apparently, when he announced Sean Penn's name, Delroy Lindo did not clap, which is interesting. I just want to see if anyone commented here. One person says, as he shouldn't. I don't like his vibe, low key man. Like, at least applaud and show little respect, even if you don't think he should have won. Person responded, maybe he shouldn't, he just didn't realize in the moment or something. He froze. Sore loser. Because I kept seeing a lot of people suggest that, oh, that Delroy Lindo was going to win because he was the only one that didn't face Sean Penn at the rest of the awards that I covered. But it seemed like at the end, though, that didn't pan out. And yeah, it seems like without industry nominations in regards to BAFTA and SAG, it seems very hard for a nominee to win at the Oscars. Now, it's probably fairly easy to get nominated, but in terms of the win, that's a different situation. But yeah, some people agreed, yeah, like he didn't had to cheer, while others felt was disrespectful here, just based on this post here. So, actress in leading role, as expected, went to Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. I would say it's deserved. She did a phenomenal job in that movie. My preferred pick was Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, but it seemed like with Rose Byrne's film, seemed like there was an uphill battle in terms of being like the sole nominee for the film. Now I'll discuss it for the next category here, but yeah, good for Jessie Buckley. It's her first win, I believe. And for supporting role, for actress in supporting role, went to Amy Madigan. Now she is the only nominee for the film, but I guess what works with her case is that she won at SAG. She won at Critics' Choice, was nominated for Golden Globe, but did not get nominated for BAFTA. So I guess in a way it worked to Amy Madigan's advantage versus Rose Byrne, I believe. But yeah, good for Amy Madigan. That was a fun character. Like when I saw the movie at the time, so good for her. Animated feature film, of course, went to K-pop Demon Hunters. That's deserved. Very entertaining movie. Was one of my favorites of the year. Yeah, it seemed like no shot for the other films to take it, but good for K-pop Demon Hunters. For animated short film, went to The Girl Who Cried Pearls. In a way, I was kind of surprised this happened. Um, I thought Butterfly would have took it, but ultimately went to The Girl Who Cried Pearls, and I believe it's Canadian films. As a Canadian, yeah, that's nice representation right there. And then casting, this one was I was surprised by this, and I'm sure many were surprised from what I've seen online. It went to one battle after another because a lot of people, including myself, thought that Sinners was going to take it, but nope, it went to one battle. Because as soon as I saw one battle winning this category, I'm like, yeah, Sean Penn is winning, and that ended up happening. So good for one battle. And I enjoyed the presentation with the Fab Five format. I thought that was lovely. And I would, yeah, love like for the Oscars when they do the Fab Five. It's not just for the actors. They do it for the other categories because I believe last year was for cinematography. That was when The Brutalist won, and this year they did it for casting. So good on that. I'm curious, like if they're gonna do the Fab Five format next year, which category are they gonna do it for? We shall see what happens there. And then cinematography went to Sinners. In a way, it's kind of like the upset because if you look at the major precursors, it seemed like One Battle was going to take it because it won both of the guilds with Ace and the British one. And then it won at BAFTA. But yeah, Sinners prevailed. And good on that one. The cinematography for me for Sinners was a bit hit and miss, but good on Sinners for the win here. And then costume design went to Frankenstein. I would say it's well deserved, pretty expected, obviously. What else here? Directing, no surprise, went to Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle. I thought maybe Ryan Coogler could have had a shot, but because just based on what's been happening so far with this race, it went to One Battle after another here. Documentary feature film went to Mr. Nobody Against Putin. I thought maybe The Perfect Neighbor would have took this one, but it ended up going to Mr. Nobody Against Putin. I think because like with the BAFTA win with that movie, it was a sure thing for that one to prevail at the Oscars. And then for documentary short film, went to All the Empty Rooms. No surprise there. Film editing, One Battle. I was not surprised with that one. International feature film went to Sentimental Value. I was hoping for The Secret Agent to take this one, but nope, went to Sentimental Value. Now, I did see yesterday, and I think also earlier to today, just before this recording, there were some people, some pundits, last minute were changing their predictions to The Secret Agent instead of Sentimental Value, which I find in a way that's kind of lame because at least for me, when I do my predictions, there's a reason why I say they're final. Sure, there may be at times where I'm a bit skeptical in some categories, but I stick with the predictions that I made in the video and all this stuff. And I think for some of the pundits that changed last minute should have stuck with whatever choice they did for the prediction, but it's neither here nor there. But yeah, I did see some people online say that they were disappointed because essentially they decided to award the film that's not political, essentially, and had English dialogue in the movie. Which is interesting. But yeah, Sentimental Valley was one of my favorite films of the year. I preferred The Worst Person in the World with Joachim Trier's previous movie, which I did do a podcast episode for my podcast, Rediscovered Movies, if you want to check that out. But yeah, congrats to Norway. I believe that's their first win, so good on them. And who knows, maybe in the future, Brazil could get another win for this category. So you never know. But yeah, it showed that with this category was quite competitive, I would say. Now, had, let's say, Sentimental Value won like a ton of stuff in terms of the major prizes, we would be having a different conversation in terms of like, yep, that was sure going to win. But since it really did not, it was quite shaky. But I saw many people were saying that, oh, Sentimental Value is going to win because it had the most nominations, which I don't really buy that, because just because a movie has a lot of nominations does not mean they're going to have a lot of wins. But again, it's case by case a situation with that one. But but yeah, congrats to Sentimental Value there. But yeah, I did see some people say that they went with the safe choice in terms of the non-political film. I assume out of the bunch here, because I did not see Surat or The Voice of Hind Rajab. But yeah, there's that for this one. Live action short. Now this ended up being surprising because we had a tie, and rarely these days we see a tie for a category. So that ended up going to the singers and two people exchanging saliva. I predicted two people exchanging saliva to win. I've not seen the singers. I hear it's pretty good with that movie. But yeah, good for two people exchanging saliva. That's a phenomenal movie. Um, yeah, that's all that I had here. Just surprised with the tie with this one, but it shows that yeah, it can happen. Makeup and hairstyling, no surprise, went to Frankenstein. No surprise there. Original score went to Sinners of Lyndon Goranson. No surprise there. I did enjoy that when they were presenting the category, the scores for each of the nominees were performed live by the orchestra, which was nice. Original song went to Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. No surprise there. I saw some people thought that it would have went to Sinners with I Lied to You, but if you look at what's happening so far up to this point, Golden was going to take this one. Now, in terms of the performances, I enjoyed both Golden and I Lied to You. I'd probably say I liked Golden more. With the Sinners one, I felt with the camera work was very like hit and miss because it was trying to like recreate the scene from the movie, but I just think the camera work when it came to that was just it just didn't work out. I would say maybe because it's live essentially, but yeah, it was still a phenomenal performance with that movie. It's still disappointing that they didn't do performances for all of the nominees here, and I don't really buy the excuse that it's for timing, because you could have like made the time. Maybe you could cut out less of the comedy bits and make time for the other performances here. But that's just neither here or there. But yeah, congrats to Golden here for this category. And then Best Picture, no surprise, went to one battle after another, because essentially it's been sweeping with this category with the most of the award shows here. So that's no surprise there. A lot of people were entertaining Sinners. I think mainly because of the SAG win, but nope, it was one battle. It's been one battle this whole time, essentially. And then production design went to Frankenstein, obviously. Um, Sound went to F1, of course, with that one. Visual effects went to Avatar, Fire and Ash. And right, for adapted screenplay went to One Battle, obviously. Original screenplay went to Sinners, Ryan Coogler, obviously there. So that's essentially it for the wins there. In terms of moments, I took notes. I enjoyed, yeah, with the opening, with the ceremony when Conan was doing the whole like weapons inspired bit where he was wearing the whole costume that Amy Madigan wears in the movie, and they had like the kids like chasing him essentially, which was quite funny there. And yeah, there was a few references with the opera and a ballet. If you're not familiar with that, I did do video where I talked about the whole thing with Timothy Chalamet with his comments on that. But yeah, it was funny that when Conan O'Brien did that joke, they panned to Timmy. He was laughing along there too, so I found that was so funny there. And then I think like yeah, there was a moment when Conan was giving himself like this fake award, whatever, and then they had Josh Groban do opera. Found that was interesting there. And what else too? Yeah, there were at times where some of the speeches were cut off because there were some speeches that felt longer than what should have been. But others, yeah, like as they were talking, it was either abruptly like cut off, and then a few of them they didn't even get to finish like their speech, which was quite sad there. But yeah, that's what I noticed throughout the ceremony. Um, what else too? Now I did see like before the I lied to you performance from Sinners. There was like a sizzle reel for Sinners. I wasn't sure if that was for like the best picture because for the best picture nominees they showed like this mini like sizzle reel like when they come after a commercial break, or I wasn't sure if that was part of like the package where I believe that for the original song categories they're supposed to give like a some sort of package. I wasn't too sure on that. I may have to look back on that one. But yeah. So for the I Lied to You performance, when they showed Misty Copeland doing her set, they did not do a shot of Timmy. I thought that would have happened, but nope, that did not happen at all. What else? I thought it was interesting, like when Anne Hathaway and Anna Wintour were presenting for costume design, and there was another category I forgot which one, but essentially Anne Hathaway was doing all of the talking, and then Anna Wintour just said a bit, "Oh, like here's the nominees," because I wasn't sure if that was planned or if that just happened. I don't know. What else? So Matt Berry, who is from that show What We Do in the Shadows, he was the announcer for the Oscars, but apparently he was doing it live from London virtually, which I found that was interesting. I wasn't sure if that was a bit or if it was actually serious that he's doing it from London, but I thought that was interesting there. Um, what else there? Yeah, there were a couple few bits here I thought was hilarious. When Robert Downey Jr. did this joke where he gave Chris Evans like this thong from Magic Mike, they showed Channing Tatum was like, "Oh, I need that back later." I thought that was hilarious there. What else too? There was that whole bit. when Pedro Pascal, Sigourney Weaver, they were presenting, I think, visual effects, and they showed like Baby Yoda, Grogu. He was in the audience beside Kate Hudson. It looked cute as always. And then Sigourney Weaver did the bits like, "Oh, get away from her!" She repeated the line from Alien or Aliens, I can't remember. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. And then of course, yeah, Kimmel when he presented the doc categories. His bits there were hilarious as always. And I enjoyed the reunions, the mini reunions they had. Like, so there was a cast from Bridesmaids. That was fun. And when Ewan McGregor, Nicole Kidman came to present the last category, Best Picture, I thought that was fun too with their reunion from Moulin Rouge. That was fun there. Um, but yeah, also too it was funny when Adrian Brody came out to present Best Actor. He he kind of joked because if you remember from last year, many people did not like that he went too long with his speech, and then he kind of did a bit where he had like stacks of notes, but he did not read it, which was hilarious. Oh, which reminds me, so with when they presented the nominees for Best Actor, that was in a random order because usually it's alphabetical order by last name. Because when they started with Ethan Hawke, I'm like, oh wait, like what's happening? And then they showed Wagner Moore, and then I forgot the rest of the order there. But usually it's alphabetical order by last name. I don't know why for that one it was a random order, but I don't know because I think for the rest it was alphabetical order, I believe, or by either by last name or by the film title. But I don't know what happened there. Um, but yeah, I think that's what stood out to me from like the ceremony. I thought the ceremony itself was fine, and so like the wins, like they're fine. I like some more than others, but overall it was just fine right there. So essentially, that's what I had. Totally remembered. So I saw this earlier. It's so funny, where they showed Mr. Wonderful, aka Kevin O'Leary. He was at the red carpet, and then they showed they panned to Jafar Panahi, where he's like looking at him with the glasses. And I saw many people say, yeah, like it's meme worthy essentially. That was hilarious right there. I'm sure many people are gonna be memeing this to death, obviously. But yeah, and I feel like there's some meanings into this as well too. But whoever did the camera work here did a great job there with the timing and all. Hilarious. So that's essentially it, what I had in terms of my thoughts on the Oscars. Now, soon I'm going to be doing a video where I do my takeaways from this year's awards season. I'm gonna like take some time to reflect. I'm gonna talk about what stood out to me, essentially. So look for that video to come out soon. But I would love to know, in the meantime, your thoughts on everything with the Oscars here. Let me know in the comments section. So if you want to support me, you can visit buymeacoffee.com/numpymalloy where you could donate and also to look at exclusive posts there. Also, too, I do have community tab on my YouTube channel. So if you do subscribe to the channel, feel free to leave comments there as long as it's under community guidelines. And yes, if you do comment here, like under the video or any of my videos, just take a look at the rules, the guidelines that are stated there before you comment there. That'll be appreciated. And if you want to follow me on social media, my links are in the description. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to catch you on the next one.